Imagine this. A city is on the brink of bankruptcy. Garbage piles up on the streets, shops are shuttered, and right next to Grand Central Station stands an old hotel, the Commodore, crumbling like a ruin. At that exact moment, a young businessman steps forward and declares, "This destruction is my biggest opportunity." Picture that scene. Today's story isn't just about becoming a billionaire. It's the story of the deal, the story of leverage, the story of tax incentives, the terrifying risks of debt, and then the extraordinary comeback powered by media and branding. Every calculation, every move. And at the end, I'll hand you exactly 5 investing lessons that you can start applying to your own life in business today. In this video, we'll examine Donald Trump's life purely through the lens of finance and investment. How he got a seat at the big deal table from childhood, how he structured financing for his first major project, where the crushing weight of debt nearly destroyed him, and how television and branding brought him roaring back to the top. The entire story is based on real events and verified reports, no fiction. Donald Trump was born in 1946 in New York. He was the son of Fred Trump, a highly successful real estate developer. Trump attended New York Military Academy, then Fordham University, and finally graduated with a degree in economics from the Wharton School of Business. Right after graduation, he joined his father's company, and at just 28 years old in 1974, became president of the Trump-owned companies, which later became the world-famous Trump Organization. Here's the first reality most people don't know. Almost every great empire begins with family capital and networks. Trump was no exception. He has repeatedly claimed he started with just a small $1 million loan. But a New York Times investigation revealed something very different. He received the equivalent of $413 million in today's dollars in assistance, loans, guarantees, and transfers from his father. It wasn't just cash, it was the entire machinery of a real estate empire behind him. This is how smart investors use seed capital to make giant leaps. The real game began in the 1970s. New York City was nearly bankrupt, crime was soaring, the economy was collapsing. That's when Trump set his sights on the decaying Commodore Hotel next to Grand Central Station. Everyone said buying it was insane, but Trump saw opportunity. The question was, how did he actually pull it off? The answer is one word: tax abatement. According to reports from NPR and ProPublica, he secured an unprecedented 40-year tax abatement from New York City, meaning zero property taxes for 40 years. That was roughly $410 million in foregone revenue for the city. Without this deal, the financing would never have worked. The hotel was completely renovated and reopened in 1980 as the Grand Hyatt. This became Trump's first major Manhattan statement. The lesson is crystal clear. A big deal is not just vision, it's the financing structure, and the biggest piece of that structure was government incentives. After the Grand Hyatt success, Trump moved to the next level, building his personal brand. The ultimate symbol of that brand became Trump Tower. It opened on November 30th, 1983, with a construction cost of about $300 million. But it wasn't just concrete and glass. It was a declaration: I am here and I am successful. Trump understood something crucial. People don't just buy apartments, they buy status, luxury, glamour, and the magic of the Trump name. The condominium sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars each, and this became the first big signal of his brand. But finance has one unbreakable rule. The more leverage you take, the bigger the fall if you're wrong. After 1980, Trump dove into the casino business in Atlantic City. Huge projects. Then, starting in the 1990s, trouble hit. According to the American Bankruptcy Institute, Trump himself never filed for personal bankruptcy, but his companies filed for Chapter 11 6 times. Chapter 11 isn't total collapse. It's a chance to restructure debt and rise again. In 2004, Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts filed for Chapter 11 with roughly $1.8 billion in debt. NBC News reported that Trump's ownership stake dropped from 47% to 27% during restructuring. The lesson here is brutal. Debt is the fastest way to grow profits, but it's also the fastest way to get crushed. You can't scale big without leverage, and you can't get destroyed without it either. Now comes the biggest twist in the story. Beyond real estate and casinos, Trump made one more investment: attention. And out of attention was born the brand. In 2004, NBC launched The Apprentice. According to ABC News and Reuters, he earned about $50,000 per episode in the first season and much more later. But the real payoff wasn't the cash. It was turning the Trump name into a revenue-generating asset. No longer just building buildings, the name itself now printed money. Media turned him into a national celebrity. This was his smartest investment of all. Now here are the 5 investing lessons for you. Lesson 1. Seed capital matters, but don't just listen to the story, verify the sources. Family, networks, trusts, these are the real first step. Lesson 2. Tax incentives can be leverage. Many massive projects only become possible because of government breaks. The Commodore's 40-year tax abatement is living proof. Lesson 3. Turnaround builds credibility. Turning a ruin into the Grand Hyatt gave Trump his first major credibility boost. Lesson 4. Debt is not evil, but it is brutal. It supercharges growth, but one mistake and it hits like Chapter 11. Always manage risk. Lesson 5. Brand is an asset class. Just as the Trump name eventually generated more revenue than the buildings themselves, your own brand can become your biggest asset. So the entire story in one line: start with real estate, grow huge with leverage, get slammed by that same leverage, and rebuild stronger with brand and media.